It's 1986. No, I'm sorry, 1987. All right. Before many of you were born, actually. 1987. I am this young, starry-eyed trader. I'm working for a Wall Street firm. All right. My first professional trading gig, my first professional trading job. All right. I get assigned to this desk. There were many desks. We had 300 and some odd traders in my division. All right. And each of the 300 traders were divided amongst desks. And I was part of a trading desk of 8 traders. So I was one of the 8 traders on a specific desk. This desk, every desk, had a head trader that was responsible for all the trading of the other 7. Okay. I remember one of the traders on my desk, he was the best trader of the group. He was even better than the head trader. The head trader earned gains from all of our gains. All right. So a portion of our trading gains went to the head trader. But there was this one trader that was better than all of us. And he was the oldest, actually. As a matter of fact, he was my age. That's weird. I saw the guy as an old guy. I'm not old. All right, anyway, I digress. But okay, so I used to stare at him out of the corner of my eye, traders. I used to watch him. I wanted to see, how does this trader sit down? Let me try to sit down like him. How does he walk to get a cup of coffee? Let me try to walk like him. I worship this guy. It's like I want to be like that guy. But you know, what was interesting is like, he never talked. He rarely talked, let's say. He's really quiet. And traders, I tell you, like it was yesterday, I remember this. I noticed that he did something. I noticed that every single time he placed a trade, he went, it's weird. He had this backpack. No, it was like a briefcase. He went into his briefcase, pulled out a book. It was a leather binder book. He opened the book and he would write something down in the book, close the book, and put the book back into his briefcase, which sat at the side of his feet. And I was like, what the heck is this guy writing down? Every single time he placed a trade, he did that. He didn't even leave the book on the desk. It was something like it was secret. He placed a trade, and you can always tell when a trader placed a trade. Because back then, guys, you had to pick up the phone to place a trade. I'm not talking about clicking a keyboard. That came years later in the 90s when you could click a keyboard and place your own trade. No, I'm talking about the 1980s when you had to, every trader had a phone and you picked up the phone and called the order desk. So you knew when a trader was placing a trade. RP is saying he wrote down a prayer. I love it. But every time he picked up the phone, you couldn't hear what he said. We weren't that close to each other. Whatever he said. Put the phone down, went into his briefcase, pulled the book out, grabbed the pen, wrote something down, closed the book, put the book back into the briefcase by his foot. And I'm like, what is this guy writing down? So one day, I'm saying many months after, I mustered up enough courage to go to the coffee machine after I saw this guy go to the coffee machine. His name was Scott, by the way. And one day I said, Scott, when he was grabbing his coffee, I was like, I really don't want to bother you. Uh, I'm one of the traders on your desk. He says, yeah, I think I've seen you before. Dude, you see me every day. Stop playing. All right. I think I've seen you before. That's what he said. And, but that's how they all treated no traders like that, like they were invisible, you know? I think I've seen you before. And I was like, yeah, I sit like 3 traders away from you on the same side. Ah, okay. What's your name, kid? I said, my name is Oliver. He's like, all right, okay. He says, what can I do for you? I was like, I, I, I was nervous. I don't want to intrude on, I don't want to intrude on, I'm not asking you to give me secrets or anything like that, but I just noticed that every single time you do a trade, you write something down. I was just curious. He's like, you're staring at me, kid? And I didn't even know what to say. I'm like, no, I just look that way sometimes. He's like, oh, okay. He said, well, it's not anything earth shattering or anything. I write down my stop. Guys, if the audio is bad, it's usually on your part. It's usually on your side, actually. Okay, audio is good. So I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I write down where I'm gonna get out of the trade if it doesn't work. And I'm like, well, but I said, well, why do you write that down? Like, don't you know where you're gonna get out of the trade? He's like, yeah, I know. And I said, but why do you actually write the price down? He's like, yeah. He's like, look, kid. He's like, for me, this works. I write down where I'm going to exit. I write down the specific price that I'm going to pick up that phone and get out of the trade. He says, you know why? Because if I don't write it down, it's in my mind. And I always change my mind. But if I write that number down, it becomes real. And I never violate that number. It becomes my law. Wow. That blew my mind. The best trader on my desk, he didn't even, remember I told you that sometimes I don't look at my list that I make for the year, for the whole year, and somehow most of the things on the list happen? He didn't even have to look at the number again. Just the fact that he wrote the number down made it law for him, made that stop real. It was just a little trick he did on himself. It's crazy, right? Why don't you practice that? You get into a trade, have a little piece of paper or a book, write the number down. Like, I will not lose more than $100 on this trade. Whatever that app, write it down. Don't keep it in your mind. Have that number look at you. Have that number look at you and say, now what? Are you going to do me? Or are you just going to write me down? What's it going to be? Have that number challenge you. You know what I mean? It's crazy. There's power in the pen. You guys have heard that saying before. There's power in the pen. Use that power. All right. Jonathan saying, so 2-bar stop will be deleted. No, you can use a 2-bar stop. You can use the 2-bar stop. You know where the break of the bar is. Write it down once you know. If your stop is under this bar, write that number down. Make it real.